Hello everybody, this is Make It Better, and today we're doing part 4. Sorry guys, it's been hectic this lately, but let's get back into it. As Izuku, of course, as Izuku has been walking out of the room, waving by, Izuku is walking to the next room. As he going to the room, dang, what's going on? Okay. As Zuko is going to the very room, he sees the doctors talking to the parents, and they see see the parents starting. The parents are starting to smile, and so they see Zuko and they start trying to hug him and try to thank them. But Zuko said, "Save the hugging for your kids." And they nodded and waited patiently outside. And so Zuko walked into the door and said, same thing as always. Okay, guys, line up like we always do. And one of the kids say, "Where's the clown?" And Zuko said, "There's no clown today. There's something special behind that curtain. After I give you hugs." And they said, "Okay." Last video I said Zuko was really tired. I'll make that make it a little stronger. Since he's been working out for 5 months, he's actually able. It make him thirsty, but he doesn't get sleepy anymore. So he drank 1 bottle of water from helping Maddie, and after all this, he start hugging them, and Zuko actually gave them all blindfolds, and so he secretly brought the kids' parents in one by one, and Zuko said, "Okay, has everybody gotten their hugs? And this has been about an hour in, and they are still wearing their blindfolds because they listen to Deku. Deku's pretty good with kids, and so they said yes. And Uzuku told them, "Okay, now no." He says, "Are you guys ready?" And the kids say yes, and then they hear their parents, and they took off their blindfolds and say, "Mom, Dad, is that you?" And their parents actually run at them and hugged them for the first time in 2 years, 2 to 1 years, and they're kind of like confused and why, and then they are just happy they're getting hugs from their parents. And as everything have calmed down, Zuko said, "As you guys might have known, I can take your emotions away. Today, I actually took away your pain, all your sickness. I take it in with me." And as he's saying that, he's drinking 3 bottles of water, and all the kids are saying, "Thank you, thank you," and they're saying, "Mommy, Daddy, I'm better now," all cute like. And the parents say, and the doctors say, "Okay, we're going to do some more tests for them, for you guys for this week, and on Friday, you are allowed to go home." And they're pretty happy going to be able to go home. And they ask, "Can we still meet up as with friends?" And everybody all the little kids say yes. And they ask if Zuko will come and play with them again. And Zuko said, "As long as your parents are okay with it, and they should have my number." They all nod, and he say, "Yeah, of course." Well then, goodbye, guys. I'll leave you to it on your. And they're still hugging each other tightly this time, and almost crying, tearing up. And so Zuko walked out, and it's almost time for for him to go. So he went to Maddie's room, see how Maddie is sleeping, and the doctor told him that we're going to do some more tests on her, see if she's completely clean. We trust your abilities, so we're just making it 100% for the directors. And Zuko said, I understood. So how long until she could come out of the get out of the room? They say right now she can leave anytime she wants, but she will leave officially on Monday. And they has told the same thing to Kachan as well. And they said the doctor said he's actually waiting for you up front. And so Zuko walked to the front of the desk and sees Kachan, and he sees a girl. And Kachan was saying, "Hey Zuko, are you ready to go?" And Zuko said, "I'll be. You go on ahead with. Go on ahead. I'll take the next station. I'm need to go to the restroom." And Bakugo said, "Well, fine. Oh, did the doctor tell you that they call our parents?" And Deku said, "Yes, they did, and they know about it." And so, Kachan pretty much walked out and said goodbye. See you till next week, or no, see you then. And Zuko said, "Yeah, see you." And he pretended to go to the restroom, and he took a walk around. He knew exactly. The girl was actually walking in a straight line, skipping the sign-up chest, and just pretty much walking through down the hall to the right. And Zuko was right there in that corner on the right. As Zuko was pretending to leave, he accidentally bumped into her. Perfectly, but make it look like an accident. And so he got up and said, "So, Juro, why are you here?" And yes, this girl is Juro. Yeah, I'm doing that shit. She's my favorite girl, so I'm doing her first. Juro say, well, I'm here for somebody. And Zuko said, okay. Can you tell me a room for this person? I can go and see if she needs help. And she said, no, it's okay. I can go by myself. And Zuko said, actually, can you help me with someone? I think her quirk is. She needs her help with her quirk. And Juro said, yeah, sure. How long will it be? And Zuko said, about 10 minutes. It won't be that long. So Zuko walked about 5 minutes around the halls into a room, walking in, and bringing in Juro, and closing the door. And she said, this room is empty. And Zuko said, I know. And Juro was getting a little scared, seeing what he's gonna do to, thinking in her head, what is he gonna do to me? And Zuko said, hold on. You know, I've been going to this hospital for 4 to 5 years, and I never saw you here. I know all the doctors, I know all the patients, even the new kids. So, what are you really here for? And she's panicking, and she's saying, I'm here for a friend. And Zuko said, you know, and he's just sitting down saying, taking off his sunglasses, because he's allowed to wear them anywhere he wants, since it's outside of school, saying, you know about my quirk, right? And she said, yeah. And Zuko said, well, do you know the other part about it? And she said, no. And Zuko said, well, lately I've been able to actually read your deeper thoughts, not just your emotions. And the girl was pretty much thinking, oh shoot. And Deku said, oh shoot, yes. And she's getting a little shocked, and she gave up on trying to hide it. So Zuko say, okay, I'll ask you again. Why are you here? And she said, well, I'm here because I want to ask you a question. And Deku said, this, okay, that's better. What is your question? And she said, what? And she has like 3 questions, but the first one is, what are you doing with the girls? What exactly did you choose them for? And Deku said, are you jealous that I chose them over you? And Jiro said, no. Lying. She's kind of lying, kind of not. She can't figure out which one it is. And say, no, I just was I was wondering why you chose them. That's all. And Zuko said, okay, I actually chose them because I helped them. I wanted to help them. And Jiro said, help them how? And Jiro's thinking of like really bad things that Zuko might help with them with. But Zuko said, no, not like that. I help them with their families and their how to talk to them. As you might have known, my name is dang, I almost said my own name. That's kind of bad. Zuko said, my name is Zuko Midoriya. As you might have known, my mom is Inko Midoriya. And Jiro say, yeah, that's why you're so popular. And your mom is very famous in the hero world. And Zuko said, well, I got one of her traits, helping people in need. And so, as I saw the girls, they needed help with their parents and their social life. And did you ask the girls anything? And Joe's saying yeah, and they gave me the same answer, that you were really nice and wasn't pushing on anything. And Zuko said, yeah, I don't push. I show them how bad it can really be if they keep that up. And so I took away their pain. And he pulled out from his chest a black orb and showed it to Jiro. And Jiro said, what is that? And Zuko said, this is just one of the emotions I pulled out from my last ex-girlfriend. And Jiro said, and what exactly is it? You say emotions, but I never saw that color in your eyes. And Zuko said, yeah, because I hide it. This is actually depression. It's also fear and sometimes anger. And so he just shrunk it down and put it right back into himself. And so he breathes in, breathes out, nice and slow. And as you can tell, just then, it was a little hard for me to put it in. I took away all of that from them, all these for their whole life, all that pain and suffering they had to deal with, into myself. I mean, and so Jiro will say, okay, so you're pretty much a really nice guy, and Zuko said, yeah. I don't give them an act because I need to. I never wanted it to be popular. It just happened that way. And so Jiro asked, can you give me one straight answer? And Zuko said, sure. Just one and nothing else, okay? And you promise me not to come into this hospital again. The kids are very happy as it is now. And I don't want anybody to ruin that. And Jiro said, okay, I will not come here again. And so Jiro asked, can you train me? And Zuko said, what school are you going for? Because each one has like a different goal for their school. And Jiro said, UA. And Zuko said, pretty good. I think your quirk will be perfect for them. Zuko said, why do you need my help? And Jiro said, because you seems like you are able to control your quirk perfectly in knowing all the weakness. So I thought maybe you can help with mine. And Zuko said, and he's sitting there thinking, maybe, yeah, I think I can do it. My Wednesdays are gonna be free now. So Zuko say, okay, end of this month, let's start. I'll start training you. And Joro say, really? And she's kind of happy to hear that. And Zuko say, now I can date. And Joro kind of stops and smiles and say, yeah, of course. And so Zuko pretty much escort her out of the hospital, and the doctor kind of stopped them in front of her. Stopped him. The doctor pretty much stopped them both and asked Zuko if you can help one more patient. It's very important and it's very life-threatening. And Zuko said, okay, in what room? The doctor said, I'll just bring you. Just take you. And so the doctor is running. He's actually running. He doesn't run for anything because Zuko's always there. So he ran to this very room. It's the room of 205. 205. And Zuko say, doctor, is this what I think it is? And the doctor said, yes. Can you please help? And Zuko said, of course. I think I have enough. Just bring me about 2 water bottles. And the doctor asked the nurse to bring 2 water bottles immediately. And Joel is actually following them and seeing how bad it seems. And so Deku said, okay. He turned to Joel and said, you can stay or you leave. Up to you. This is very important. Do not say a thing, okay? And Joel said, okay. And so he walked in slowly and saying, well, hello, Sarah. How you been doing? All nice and soft voice. And Joel's hearing that he changed his tone quickly. She's kind of surprised that he can do that. And so, and let's stay on Deku's point of view. Okay, here we go. Sarah, I can see that you're in very much pain. And she's saying yes. And Deku said, can you please tell me where? And she say, on my leg. And this is the description of her body right now. Nothing sexual. It's pretty much, she's around 10 years old. Her right foot is completely gone. Her right hand is completely gone. And her left hand is starting to twitch and contort in like really awkward ways. And she's just feeling pain every time it twitches. And so she's like saying ow every time it moves, as she's talking to her, telling him about the pain. And so Izuku said, have you heard about the rumors? And she said, what rumors? And Izuku said, okay, that's good. And so Izuku said, okay, give me your hand. And she said, okay, here's my, she gave it to her, gave her left hand. And Izuku, oh, and Izuku, can you please take it away? And Izuku said, of course. And he took it away, took the pain of her left hand off. And so Izuku said, okay, that's good. And then the doctor come in and saying, is she okay? Is she all better now? And Izuku said, not yet. And the girl said, not yet, but I thought you already did. And Izuku said, well, doctor, can you do it for me? And the doctor said, gladly. And this is actually the doctor's daughter. He was never able to cure her, so he moved his a line of work to become a doctor in this very hospital. So he actually tell her that, you know how Deku had been here for a few years, and she said yes. And you know how he been like training your emotional state, and she said yes. Well, he has another quirk, and the doctors here, the bosses, say they will allow him to use it. And she said, what's his quirk? And the doctor said, well, let's just show you. And Zuko said, well, give me your hand, like your left hand. And he asked her to raise up your right hand. And she said, okay. Like, where was left of it. And Zuko said, okay, 3, 2, 1. It won't hurt. Transfer. And she sees, as a few minutes go by, well, a few seconds go by, she sees her hand just growing right back. First the palm, and then the fingers, and then her fingernails. And she is surprised that she can see that so quickly. And then she looks down into her leg, and then it started growing back. The foot started growing back all the way to the tippy toes and the toenails. And she's kind of tearing up and and she pretty much tearing up and like choking up, saying, so I'm all better now? And Zuko said, hold on, one more. And he's taking away the very sickness that was in her that was causing this so much pain. She had a type, I'm making this one up, I'm not sure if it's real, type 3 diabetes. It was a sickness that was only passed down by in birth. She never really was diabetic, but it just advances that quickly that it affected her too much. And so he taking away that very illness, type 3 diabetes, away, and then he just sat down exhausted, and Joe was actually giving him the 2 water bottles. And Zuko was chugging down the first one and then chugging down the second one and saying, okay, how do you feel now? And she said, I'm better, I feel better. And the doctor said, pretty much happy and hugging her this whole time, pretty much how it was. And Zuko said, okay, now I'm going home, I'm tired. And the doctor said, okay. And he escorts him out and just pretty much stay in that room and talking to his daughter. So Zuko is walking out with Jiro, and Jiro say, so how long have you seen this girl? And Zuko said, about, I don't remember if I say anything. And he said that very time, and she is surprised that you and she's asking, so you take away their pain? Lucas said, up till like last month was my actual today was my actual first time taking away their pains. And so and he did about 50 people today. And she said 50. And you say each one takes 10 minutes to start? And Zuko said yes. And so she said, you've been doing it for 5 hours? And Zuko said, yes. That's how I train my quirk. And well, this one. And my other ones too. That's how I trained them. It's painful for me, but it's worth it to help have the kids smile again. And she's kind of happy and starting to like him a little bit more. And so Zuko said, okay, let's go. I'm just tired today. And he's starting, his stomach's starting to rumble, and he's getting a little hungry. So he kind of, he kind of skipped lunch, but not really. He just got late lunch because he was too excited and choked up on his food. So Zuko just said, okay, then I'll start your training next month. Today is the 6th month. All the way to the end, the very next month, and I will start training you. Let's meet up at that gym over there. It's pretty much across the street of the very hospital. And Zuko said, the owner already knows me, so it's all good. And Jiro said, okay, do we meet at the same time as you do here? And Zuko said yes. So Zuko pretty much walked to the station and said goodbye, and left for his home. And in the Midoriya's house, let's go to Baku's house. Baku is telling them, seeing them so happy that they got the call from the doctor, and so happy that they finally give Deku the permission to do it. And so they called the Midoriyas over, and today wasn't a good day, so they asked for a dinner date or a date for having dinner to commemorate today. And what they said, and they say on Monday, and they said okay. And so Inko is just standing there waiting for Zuko, and as Zuko just walked in, opened the door, saw his mom and his dad, and they both just ran up and hugged them and kind of like tearing up and saying, "You did it, you did it, you finally did what you wanted to do this whole time." And Zuko is pretty much happy and smiling, and giving out the tear, just one tear, and saying, "I know, right? It's been so long." And so they got after all that was done, all the emotion stuff stopped. And Deku said, "Okay, is there any dinner left?" And Inko said, "Yeah, you can have your dinner in your room like you always do." And Zuko said, "Okay, thank you. I'll be staying up late for today, okay?" And Inko said, "Yeah, sure, of course." The reason he stayed up late to this time, well, he does it almost every Wednesday. He actually like sorts out the emotions and try to compress them down, even smaller to smaller to smaller, and that's how he check in his emotions, for it won't affect him in real life. He feels it in there, and if one emotion is like coming out slowly, he will like focus on it and compress it. So he used like happy has been like coming out lately, so he used anger to push it back down. The further opposite of each other is easier for Deku to control it and push it down. So he's very in tune with his emotions, and so with his quirk. And so he's eating his food as he's doing this. Inko and Isashi pretty much talking is being so proud of Deku able to do this and been doing. Oh, thirsty. Dang, getting dry. And so let's go on to Monday. And yeah, Zuko has been going to the hospital on Saturday and Sunday, healing any other kids. And so after that, on Monday, after school, well, let's start with school. Zuko's just walking in all happy like. Oh dang, I skipped a lot. No, that was on a Wednesday. So on Thursday, he walked in all happy like, and almost all the girls and some of the guys are surprised that he's smiling so big this time, and he's like showing off how happy he is. His friends are wanting to ask a question, but they don't want to ruin his mood, so they wait until lunchtime, and they ask, "So Zuko, did something good happen over there? You know, on Wednesday?" And Zuko said, "Yes, yes." And he just keeps saying yes and smiling and kind of chuckling and just keeps saying yes. And so his friends say, "So, we not using our favors, are you able to do something for us?" And Zuko said, "You're not gonna trick me. I'm not doing it." And Adrian said, "Come on, man. It's just one picture." And Zuko said, "Come. All year you guys have been pressuring me to take a picture of me. And why is it different this time?" And Adrian pretty much say, "Because you're smiling genuinely." Zuko said, "Okay, one picture." And Adrian said, "Okay, after school." And he said, "Okay, after school." And so after all the classes, and Adrian said, "Okay." As everybody's leaving, Zuko say, "Okay, where is it? Where's the one position? I will only listen to one demand." And Adrian say, "Okay, I have so many. Which one will be the best?" And he thinks of it. "Okay. Sit in the back row, on the very back corner, looking at the window." And Zuko say, okay, like this. And he's turning his head. And Adrian said, put your hand on your head, kind of like you're like falling asleep. And so you're resting your left hand there, and just looking in the window. And Deku said, okay, like this. And Adrian said, yes, perfect. So he takes 3 pictures in different angles, saying which one's perfect, rip up the 2, and say, okay, Deku, this is the perfect picture. And Deku said, okay, now what? And Adrian said, what? And Deku said, now what are you going to do with that picture? Because I know you don't do this only for your museum, to just show off. And Adrian said, well, I'm planning on selling this. Highest bidder wins. And Deku said, how about this? Do about, how many girls are in the school? Let's say 200. Because I don't remember how many there really is. Say 200 up, the price up high, and you spread the rumor tomorrow, and on Monday, that's when you sell them. Is that good? And Adrian said, that's why we're best friends. And Izuku said, okay then, okay, bye, and don't make any bad rumors, okay? And they said, okay. So they all leave, and so Friday comes around, and they're spreading the rumor that there's going to be a shot coming up for a specific picture of Deku in a certain pose that all the girls have been like asking for and waiting for. And so it finally have came, and even Juro is getting a little excited for it, but she's keeping her composure and not showing any emotions. And so that has happened. End of that day, he went to the hospital, cure any more sick kids for the past 5 hours. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. He stayed there for until 10, and he's pretty much helped about for 6 hours straight. And he's getting better at this. His quirk is actually getting stronger, and for the month, his body is so strong. It's way stronger. It's right now way stronger than Deku, right? On the last of 10 months. And so Deku is pretty much happy. And he did it on Sunday, and Monday came around, and see his friends pretty much out front, getting crowded by girls, and saying how much is for the pictures. And Adrian say, for the bigger pictures, they'll be $100. For the smaller ones, it'll be $25. And so the girls are surprised it's pretty that cheap, but extremely expensive for the bigger ones. But some of them are worth it. Saying it's worth it. And Deku said, hey, like the teacher said last year, after school, not now, after school. So all the girls are waiting. Just looking at Deku and taking the guys back inside in school. And so, and Deku see Juro right there at the at her locker, and she pretty much is waving, and Deku doesn't not acknowledge this, but he gives a wink into her, and that was pretty much enough for her. And nobody saw that, but one person, and that was Lorenzo. Lorenzo saw that, and he kept it in and waited until for lunch. And so lunch came around, and all the girls are actually just talking. So Zuko said, "Today, let's just eat outside. I don't feel. I just. Dang it. Okay." And so they walk outside eating their lunch, and Lorenzo say, "So, that girl that you just winked to this morning," and Zuko is kind of choking on this food, saying, "What? You saw that? Of all the people, you saw that?" And Lorenzo said, yeah, I saw that. So, is this your next target? And Zuko said, actually, no more targets. This one is actually real. I think it's real. And Lorenzo, so this time you're going for because you want to be with her? And Zuko said, yeah. 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 And so he's kind of blushing. And the guy sees this and say, dude, I want another picture, but I know it's, you will say no, but can I please have another picture? And Zuko said, fine, I'm just a little too happy. Where? Right here is perfect. And so Adrian just took one more picture, snapshot that as he's blushing and just looking away, blushing. And that's like the best picture for any girl to have. And Adrian said, well, this will be a bonus. I wonder if I give this to the girl. Hey, Lorenzo, do you remember the girl? And Lorenzo said, yeah, I remember the girl. And Deku said, hey, no, don't sell it to her. And Adrian said, who said about selling? And Deku said, you're going to give it to her? And he's kind of shaking. And it's one of the few times where he actually shows his emotions. Because he's like, in school, he keeps it in a cool, mellow look. And with his sunglasses, it just made it look cooler. But with his friends, he shows more emotion to it. And so, end of the day comes around, and all the girls are crowding around, and Adrian, Lorenzo, Sebastian is standing up there, calming down the girls, and saying, each the ones that want to the larger picture come up front first. And there's about 50 girls, and they say in an orderly line, both Lorenzo and Sebastian's in an orderly line, and Deku is just pretty much sitting there watching all of this and just kind of blushing. Every girl just buying each picture of the very same picture, and it's just kind of blushing. So it's like kind of a bonus for the girls to see him blush. And so and then the next line for the smaller pieces, and then he sees Juro, and so he kind of like covered his face and just blush. And Juro doesn't see it. She doesn't see it. She's more focused on the picture. And Lorenzo will say, "Hey, that's the girl, the one with purple and have those earplugs, those ears on her." And Agent said, "Oh, dude, that's one of the good ones." And it's like it was just saying, "Shut up," and just keeps blushing. And so Adrian secretly gave her another picture, and Adrian got close to her, a lot closer than any other girl, and whispered to her ear, "This one is from Deku." And she kind of blushes and say, thank you. And so she sees the picture, and then she feels like it's two pictures, and so she moves it, and she sees the other one, and she's like really happy, and she's just kind of blushing and walking away. All the other girls see that she's blushing, and so they just think that Lorenzo just Adrian gave her some encouraging words, because Deku's friends are not ugly in per se, but they're pretty much average. But they're if my friends hear this, I'd be so such in big trouble. But that aside, dang, I just think of that. Okay, where am I? After all that has happened, all the girls have left. Some guys actually stayed and wanted to have some of those pictures. And Adrian said, wasn't expecting you guys, but which ones you guys want? And he has about 15 left. So I have 15 left. 3 of the big ones, and the rest are the smaller ones. And so 3 guys, about 4 guys, want the big pictures. And Adrian said, okay, let's do a bid for the last 3. And they say, okay. As it got higher, over 100, one of the kids said, oh, okay, I'm out. And so the last 3 got the pictures in a higher price. And so Adrian is pretty happy that he got it in a higher price. It went up to $150. And for the smaller ones, it was enough for all the guys. So it was perfect amount. So $50, and they made a pretty big profit. So Adrian pretty much split it in 4 ways. And Deku said, no, I don't want the money. And Adrian said, I insist. It never would have happened if you said yes. If you said no. And so Izuku just pretty much take the money and say, fine. In that case, it's my treat for dinner. And they say, wait. And Izuku said, oh wait, not today. How about... No, not Wednesday. Saturday. And they say, okay, it's a date. And they're all just pretty much smiling and laughing and walking away. And Zuko say, not like that, as he's smiling and walking away. And so he pretty much put the money in his pocket and went off for the day. And if they do the dinner with the Bakugos. Yeah, the Bakugos. And pretty much Katsuki, Kachan. Yeah, Bakugos. If I'm wrong, then dang, I need to watch the show again. So they have their dinner. They're all happy and smiling, and they are just happy to see Maddie just in their house, all playing around with Deku and Kachan like old times. And so that's the end for that month. For the 6 months, and the 7 months came around, and Deku somehow finished the beach in around half. In 7 months and 2 weeks, he finished the beach. So All Might say, "Okay, young man," and he pulled out a hair and say, "Here, eat this." And so you get the scene of Izuku hesitating and questioning why, and so he just do it, holding his nose and say, okay, and swallowing it. At first, he said nothing's happening, and of course, All Might said, of course, and you need to wait a little longer to fully go into your bloodstream. And Zuko said, okay, how about we go for a run? And All Might said, yeah, let's go for a run. And so All Might and Deku said, here to the other side of the beach. And Zuko said, are you sure, old man? Are you able to keep up? And All Might said, hey, I'm not that old. Well, just respect your elders. And they're both smiling. And they say, ready, set, go. And they started running. And at first, Deku's like beating All Might, but All Might is only using about 15% of his power. And he just started, as they made it to the one end, they said, okay, race you back. And Deku said, okay, 3, 2, 1, go. And All Might said, I'll beat, let's have a little rager. If I win, you'll do something. If you win, I'll let you do something. And they, okay, but I'm not holding back. And so he started running, and he went up to 25%. And at around the middle point, Izuku can feel some power going through him, and he stopped. And All Might say, "Hey, are you going to let me win? Are you going to let me win?" And Izuku said, "In your dreams." So he started running, and at the third step, he feels some power, and so he started using it, and he accidentally went full counter. Oh well, no, sorry. full counting. And he did that and felt kind of good, so he kept doing it. And he put in, and then he just like started running as fast as he can. Right now he's using 100% and beat All Might. And then after he hit a wall because he didn't know how to stop, he hit a wall, broke two of his arms and his leg, and All Might said, "Ooh, that's gonna hurt." And see Deku like pretty much regenerating immediately. And Deku said, "Hey, I got." And he's like trying to get out of the wall, and he slowly getting out. And his bones are reconnecting. All of them are healing. And Zuko say, "I feel it. It's a lot. And you always feel like this, All Might?" And All Might said, "Yeah, always, as long as I turn it on." And so he shrunk down and say, "Right now I'm using 0%, and when he do 1%, he's a little buff. 2%, 3%, 5, 10, and so on." And he's around, and then he say, and this time he's going to be a good teacher and say, "And now, young man, I actually don't use my 100% all the time. I use it in certain percentages, and I'm going to teach you how to do that." And Deku said, "So you don't use 100% at all?" And All Might said, "Only with the bad guys that I can't defeat in one punch." And so Deku said, "Okay." And so they started training, and they found out the limit for Deku is 25%. And Zuko can want to see ask All Might if he can train his own quirks and see how they have improved. And as this was going on, they hear a loud scream that was going on, and it was a building collapsing, and it was about to crush a kid. So both All Might and Zuko ran to the kid, and All Might picked up the lady and ran, and Zuko picked up the kid and ran, and just barely made it. And so he set down the kid, and the lady said, "Call an ambulance! Call an ambulance! His quirk just awakened." And she said, "I don't know what it is, but it looked like it broke his body." And so Deku said, "Okay, All Might, can I use my quirk?" And All Might said, "Okay, just do it immediately." And so the lady said, "Do what?" And Deku said, hold his hand and said, 3, 2, 1, transfer. And almost in a second, Zuko took all of his pain away, and the kid woke up and said, "Mommy, what happened?" And Zuko said, "Dang, that was..." And he stands up and said, "He broke all his hands and his feet, and I don't feel thirsty either. Oh my, how strong is this quirk?" And as they're walking away and pretty much waving goodbye for the two, and All Might pretty much giving him an autograph to make him a little better, and Deku pretty much taking the fear from them both away secretly and putting it into himself. And he feels, as he was pulling away their fears, he actually took away all of it. Usually there's like a little drop of it left before it can like replenish, but you could never get that part off. And so Deku was able to take away their fears completely. And Deku said, "All Might, you said it was a multiplier, right?" And All Might said yes. And All Might asked, "So how much of a boost did it do to your quirks?" And Deku said, "I'm extremely... I need to control this." And All Might said, "How much?" And Deku explained, "With my emotion quirk, I can actually read your inner deeper thoughts now. I'm looking at everybody, and it doesn't matter how far they are, I can still read their thoughts. Like that kid over there." And All Might said, hey, don't say it. That's personal." And Zuko said, "Okay, but my me taking away their emotional pain even their physical pain is so much stronger. Their physical, I don't feel tired anymore. I can actually take away that very. If I took away your scar like right now instead of like a month ago, I don't think I would be tired at that point. And all might say, I guess one for all. Sorry guys, giving you a boost. And Deku said, it's more than a boost. My emotional, usually take me a few seconds to take away all of their pain, and even by that, it's one droplet of that very pain is always left, and I will never able to get it. Today, I am able to take away 100% of that very emotion, for it will never happen again until a really bad experience happen. And all might say, so young man, do you feel like you can become number one? And Deku said, I think I can actually become number one with this quirk. And so he's kind of happy and say, okay, let's start training with some styles. And Zuko say, I have been like learning how to fight, so I'm not gonna copy you, for no one can assume that we're somehow related. And oh, I say, that's a good idea. Which techniques are you gonna use? And he's gonna do shoot style, one in cannon, using mostly his legs and sometimes his arms. And so this all happened in the 6th month, and the 7th month, he started training Jiro, and for the remaining 3 months, Jiro has actually gone a lot stronger and started learning how to use her quirk a lot better. Zuko keeps telling her, first your body and then your quirk. Your body needs to get used to your quirk. And he keeps saying this all the time, and then she finally get it. Because lately, she was only able to lift up about 30 pounds, and now she was able to lift up 50 pounds. And she feels stronger, more able to like dodge some moves of Deku's, and at this time they're getting closer and closer to each other. Their emotions are getting stronger. What else? And as this has been going on the 9th month, he said, okay, since it's getting close to the last month, how about this? And he already knows how she feels, and he'd been reading her mind. Dang it. And pretty much reading her mind and knowing that she likes him too. And Zuko said, how about this? Let's make a deal. And she said, what kind of deal? And Zuko said, if both of us get into UA class 1A, then I'll ask you out on a date. And she's kind of excited, saying, okay. And if not, and Zuko say, then I'll treat you for dinner, and then we move on. And Jiro saying, okay, that seems like a fair deal. And they shaked on it and said, and Zuko said, also, I'm not gonna help you for the last month. And she said, wait, why? Kind of pouting. And Zuko said, well, I need to work on my quirk too, and I don't want to give away my secrets. And she said, okay. And so I'll see you in the entrance exam. And he said yes. So last month, in the 2nd week, there's exams going on for their middle school, seeing if they pass it and going up to high school. And all of his friends have passed, and they show him their grades, on the list, and they were up the top 5, aside with someone else. But Zuko's at the very top, someone in 2nd, 3rd is Adrian, 4th is Sebastian, and 5th is Lorenzo. And they're all pretty excited, and then they say, now you owe us a favor. right? And Zuko said, yes, I'll owe you a favor. Remember, I'm not very rich, so don't ask for something expensive. And they say, we won't, we know. And so they say, I'll keep, and they all did at the same time, I'll keep it for a rainy day. And Zuko said, that's fair. And so they are all happy. And here comes, as everything is going on, the 10 months have finally ended. And Zuko and his friends are walking in to UA entrance exam. And I'll end it at this point. Well, thank you guys for listening. This is the first time I actually took an hour and finally gotten through everything I need to do. So, in the next part, I will talk about the rest. And I'm doing some good stuff. Hopefully it's good enough. If not, sorry. And yeah, goodbye.